from the shadow to the gift of idealism. And the Siddhic state, as Deborah said, is light. And we can talk about that.
And what I love about this is obscurity is the place we go in our minds when it goes round and round and in and out, and we can't find our way because our there's all this stuff going on. And I laugh because in the middle of the night last night I was like playing around with this, and I thought, Deborah, this is you're getting to play in the shadow space. Can we play from another angle here? And then the key word that really stuck with me is belief.
Mm-hmm.
Do you want to share about that?
Well, when we get stuck in anybody's belief system outside of ourselves,
Even
right?
our own belief
In
system.
even our own belief system, you're not allowing room for expansion or change or growth because you're so locked into a very particular viewpoint. And so, yeah,
Yeah. And that there is no teacher's beliefs. And this may hit differently with different people who have religious beliefs. Um, when I say they're all beliefs, and that we get to examine what feels true and right. What do I know in my body? And that was fascinating to hear. Carl Jung, the famous shadow, I think of him as a shadow psychologist of the past, was being interviewed and was asked something about what does he believe in God? And he says, no, I know there's God. I know God. So that's a difference because you can feel the difference when you say, I know. And whereas I believe in, yeah, that's fine, but it's not the same as having that full body knowingness. And that's where we get to play with and move out of obscurity, which is especially now as it keeps getting louder and louder with all the media that's coming at us from so many different directions. What do we believe? What do we believe? And
right,
what do I
right,
know? What do I know in this moment?
right. And when we look at the repressed nature of this, it it dives into fantasy. It's one that like you then zoom in some type of fear, and he says that it's inefficient because then you're just circling around in that space,
Yeah.
and you're hidden away behind fantasies rather than dealing with being here now. You're someplace else. And then the other is reactionary. It's delusional. That's when you're angry and you are reacting to the lies outside of you, right? So rather than listening here, you're just in reactionary mode. So that's not efficient either. So
No,
coming
there's
back,
a lot of energy going into that now, isn't there? When people watch the news or read the
right,
news or they're on social media reading news and they have so much emotional energy that's being expended
right.
there.
So
Yeah.
do you want to
So,
talk? Are you ready to move to idealism, or are you
yes,
still
I
wanting to?
feel I felt very strongly when I heard the audio transmission of Richard speaking to this is what stuck with me and felt true in my body was the fact of idealism is the fire, the creative energy that gets us up. It gives us the energy to get up and move forward. So we are moving towards the ideals that we hold, that we know, that we embody, and that's what we live for, basically. And I was really questioning, like, what are my ideals in this moment in life? I mean, in the past it was my kids or my, a certain project that I was excited about, or and now I'm struggling as to what's my gift? How am I here to serve? And it brought up a great contemplation for me where I will probably continue. So tell me about for you.
Um, it's interesting. I do because I've had so many visions of what life could look like, and not in a fantasy way, but this is one of the sentences that really pops out to me. You must believe in the power of your dream, and at the same time, you must give up what it looks like.
Because I think that and this is how we were always taught to visualize, right? Like
Right.
have this really clear picture. And I thought, I I like the kind of not goal setting, but dreaming forward where you feel into what does it feel like when I'm waking up in the future? How do I want to feel upon waking? What is it that I want to get up and do in my morning practice? How am I, what temperatures on my skin, those kind of things feel differently than having a picture of it's going to be this size house, living here with this person. How
Right.
do I even know that?
Right.
So tell me, so idealism is, and this is another thing he talks about. This is not just dreaming, but it's the doing.
Right.
So it's
Right. Right. You're not stuck in, and that's part of the delusion
okay.
is that you stay in that dream zone, but nothing ever comes to form because you are kind of in denial about the fact that you believe that it may not ever come to form.
Okay.
So, idealism is recognizing there are lots of possibilities. You're committed to it, but you're in this light sense um, without attaching to what that looks like, but you're staying committed.
Yeah. That is uh and that's such a isn't that a Buddhist thing or a transcendental meditation? What is there's a philosophy about holding something lightly,
Mm,
that we're carrying into the future, that we don't have it like it has to look like this. And I feel like that's what our beliefs do. They keep us uh crunched and unable to literally shine our light, right? So are you ready to talk about light, the civic state? Because this feels very
oh, I do want to say this last comment about
the gift.
idealism. Yeah. And I'm just going to read this. The 11th gift is the ability to play with archetypes that pass before you and into your life. This very playfulness loosens your tendency to try to tightly grip your experiences.
Okay.
So that's what makes it light is that you're having it flow through you. I mean, we all live these various different archetypes.
Right.
We're not, yeah. So
It's fluid.
it's
It,
fluid, right?
and it's interesting to me because we do get stuck sometimes on reliving uh like oh, I shouldn't have said that, and I wonder how that, and I think I did that, that we'll stay in that moment, and that's not the fluidity of light. And it's that stuck place,
Right.
which can feel dark and obscure. So
Okay. So going on to the light, this is very interesting. The quote for this part of the chapter is uprooting the tree of knowledge of good and evil. And I think that's the belief of duality altogether
mhm.
and recognizing all of it. It's all of it.
Yeah. Wow, that just settled in my body in a new way. It brought such a calm all the way down into my belly, which I really needed because I've been kind of churning around this key. But that gave me a knowing,
Mm.
versus a trying to figure it out kind of obscurity place. Um, so anything else you want to say about that? I want to share the mudra before we close. And I also want to say that we are sharing as we contemplate and as we learn and go deeper. These kinds of conversations allow us to embody these keys in a new way each time we revisit them. And so, but our words are not your truth either. So that I am asking that you take these concepts and play with them in what feels true and feels like you know this in yourself. So that's my challenge to you. Mm.
And it talks about one last thing that I want to say is no one attains the acidic state of light unless they travel through the darkest spaces of their psyche. And so none of us are adverse, like we get out of get out of it free. Like we've chosen this experience to grow
Yeah.
from. And so
It's
um
interesting because a lot of us call ourselves
like
light
workers.
bearers or light workers or way showers. And I was thinking about that and I thought, if everybody just had a little tiny pinprick of light, how we would start seeing, the pebbles and find the connections between us.
Well, and the light has never been really outside of us. It's always
No,
residing within our bodies.
no, but I'm saying if I can see your
Yeah.
light and feel, and right now it feels I'm feeling the lights of people, but I have yet to see. I don't know what I'm expecting. See, I have a belief that I should be seeing their aura. There we go. Okay. So so I'm going to show you the mudra, which is a little bit intricate, but once you get it, it's pretty cool. You take your pinky and ring fingers and you kind of twist them together like they're locked a little. Then you take the middle and the index finger of your right hand and you tuck it around inside the palm of your left. And then your left index and middle finger wrap around on top. Your thumbs go straight and they kind of go right underneath the index finger of your left hand. And so it's kind of tight. And what you want to imagine is the light in the center here, the light that each of us is, right? So our individual light is in the center of this beautiful mudra. And it's almost like we're protecting it and holding it and allowing it to gestate and get brighter. I'm going to play with this today. Mm.
Yeah, that was good.
Your heart, yes.
Yeah. The light with you, within you.